I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads in prayer with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us to this very special point in our lives today, for teaching us lessons, whether they have been perseverance, patience, or compassion. Thank you for molding us into the young men and women we are today. Lord, I pray asking for you to please be the lamp unto our feet and the light unto our paths as we step into this next unwritten chapter. Thank you for equipping us with families and friends who have taught us to love and cherish our memories. Please help each of us to listen to you when we face difficult choices and need guidance, and to pick ourselves up and keep going when we face hard times. Thank you for your unending love, and thank you for always being there for us, Lord. In Christ's name, amen.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining the class of 2012 on the final day of our high school experience. It may be the end of one chapter in our lives, but a new one is about to begin. Today, we are here to celebrate all of our accomplishments and remember our days at Pikeville High School. It wasn't easy getting to this point, though. It took a lot of hard work and dedication. However, we did not get here alone. There are many people who we should thank for getting us through the stress and craziness of high school. We couldn't have done it without them. We ask that as we call your name, that you please stand and remain standing. We will start with the people behind the scenes. We may not see them every day, but they keep the school and indeed the district running. First, we recognize instructional supervisors Sissy Leatherman and Sherry Tackett, Director of Pupil Personnel Billy Johnson, Director of Special Education Denny Paul May, Administrative Support Persons Alice Garrett, Crystal Branham, and Denise Clark, and finally, Superintendent Jerry Green. Thank you. You may be seated. Also, we'd like to welcome Representative Leslie Combs, The next group of people is the ones who help us on a daily basis. PHS couldn't run without these important people. Please stand and remain standing when your names are called. We thank Michael Rowe, principal, and Dave Thomas, assistant principal, who help all of us no matter what the problem. As guidance counselor, Ann Sammons has prepared us for college in a way that is more than anyone could ask for and has assisted those dealing with troubles. She couldn't do it alone, though. She's aided by Lisa Asbury, guidance assistant, who goes above and beyond her duties to help and direct the students of Pikeville High School. We would also like to thank Kathy Shirtliff and Terry Carter, who greet us every morning with a smile and also greet seniors with an occasional tardy slip. While the school administration and central office deal with putting plans for the school in action, the Board of Education members are the ones who make policy decisions. They are public servants to the city of Pikeville and work tirelessly to improve our education system. Please stand when you are introduced. Chairman Mark Myers, Teresa Combs, Ann Carty, Mike McCoy, and Greg Tackett. We greatly appreciate the commitment you have made to the Pikeville Independent School District, and you may be seated. The Site-Based Council is also a large contributor to the function of the school. Also, Mr. Buddy Beeler is a board member. I'm sorry. The Site-Based Council is also a large contributor to the function of the school. Please stand and be recognized. Jimmy Altman, Dusty Lane, and Adrian Gearhart represent the parents on the council, and Susan Kennan, Sherry Lane, and Mary Belcher represent the faculty on the council. Thank you for your efforts. You may be seated. Last, but certainly most not least, we would like to thank all the teachers. We would like all teachers present to stand. These teachers have put their time and hard work to ensure a bright future for us. They have helped shape our personalities, our values, and our intelligence. The impressions that they have made on us are irreplaceable and will never be forgotten. Parents, family, friends, and classmates, please give them a round of applause for everything they have done. Thank you, and you may be seated. Once again, welcome to the commencement exercises of the class of 2012.
Let's be honest. Every single one of us on the stage today wouldn't be here without the help of our parents. Though no amount of thank yous will ever suffice for all the sacrifices they've made for us, I would still like to take a moment and thank all the parents on behalf of our senior class. Thank you for being there, even when we didn't think we needed it. Thank you for making us feel special, even during those awkward teenage years. Thank you for being the pillars of support, guidance, and love in our life. And thank you for the greatest gift of all, education. At this moment, I would like to request all parents and guardians of our senior class to stand. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As a member of the class of 2012, I have been exposed to some of the hardest working students to ever walk the halls of PHS. The strive of this group is remarkable, so remarkable that everyone currently wearing a cap and gown applied to college before the end of our first semester. Going above and beyond isn't uncommon with this group. Therefore, I'm proud to announce the class of 2012 top 10 students. Please stand when your name is called and hold your applause until everyone has been recognized. Number 10, Yusra Mansour. Number 9, Aaron Shepard. Number 8, Molly Bates. Number 7, Lucas Taylor. Number 6, Mackenzie Gearhart. Number 5, Lindsay Eisner. Number 4, Taryn Cantrell. Number 3, Devin Porter. Our salutatorian, Samuel Potter. And our valedictorian, Mary Hillwig.
Pikeville High School students have never failed to go above and beyond the experience and the expectations of the average teenager. We strive to complete any challenge to the best of our abilities, and our administrators do a terrific job of recognizing our achievements.
The following seniors are being honored for excelling in a variety of programs offered at PHS. As we call your name, please stand and remain standing until all names are called. Everyone, please hold your applause till the end.
Mr. and Miss Pike High, J.P. Coleman and Taryn Cantrell.
The English award goes to Sam Potter.
Composition, Rebecca Bailey.
Spanish, Jessica Asbury.
Mathematics,
Mary Hilwig.
CP Mim Science Award, Sam Potter and Mary Hilwig.
Bausch and Lomb Honorary Science Award, Mary Hilwig.
Physics, Sam Potter and Mary Hilwig.
Chemistry, Mary Hilwig.
Biology, Lindsay Eisner and Sam Potter.
History, Taryn Cantrell, Mary Hilwig, and Sam Potter.
Frederick Douglass and Susie B. Anthony Award for History and Humanities, Molly Bates.
Drama, Devin Porter.
Musical Theater, Ashley Fleming.
Theatrical Technology, Sam Potter and Aaron Shepard.
Theatrical Management, Courtney Waddles.
Theatrical Design, Tara Leisure.
Chorus, Devin Porter.
Band Directors Award, Marcus Houston.
John Philip Salza Award, Devin Porter.
Art, Tara Leisure.
Xerox Award for Innovation and Information Technology, Sam Potter.
George Eastman Young Leaders Award, Devin Porter.
Future Business Leaders of America, Sam Potter and Courtney Waddles.
Outstanding Career in Technical Education Award, Brad Loader.
National Honor Society Award, Molly Bates.
Chris Fields Memorial Academic Team Award, Tara Leisure.
Student Council President's Award, Taryn Cantrell.
Key Club, Tara Leisure.
Yearbook, Molly Bates and Lindsay Cheney.
Pep Club, Lindsay Cheney.
Donna Ratliff Memorial Cheerleading Award, Cassie Huff.
WSAZ Best of the Class, Mary Hilwig. Congratulations to the hardworking class of 2012.
You may be seated.
The students you see on stage today excel at many things, from sports to competitive clubs to endeavors beyond our school.
But the one thing that distinguishes Pikeville High School students from the rest is their academic prowess.
And now, we would like to celebrate the individuals who have received recognition for this honor.
Please stand when your name is called.
Governor Scholars Program, Molly Carol Bates.
Taryn Elizabeth Cantrell.
Mackenzie Gearhart.
Mary Karen Hilwig.
Lindsay Dawn Eisner.
Governor School for the Arts, Molly Carol Bates.
Devin Dwayne Porter.
Work Ethic Award recipients, Jessica Danielle Asbury.
Emily Page Hall.
Mary Karen Hilwig.
Haley Elizabeth Wagner.
Reese Ellis Ward.
Booth Scholars. Taryn Elizabeth Cantrell.
Devin Dwayne Porter.
Ashley Dawn Fleming.
Lucas Aaron Taylor.
Samuel Jefferson Potter.
Roger Scholar, Taryn Elizabeth Cantrell.
Millard Area Vocational Achievements.
Levi Tyler Coleman.
Damian J. Phillips.
Students completing a career in technical education career major, Molly Carol Bates.
William James Boyd.
Zachary Blake Berge Van Hoos.
Jordan Keith Chapman.
Austin Paul Estep.
Christopher Hayburn Jr.
David Tolliver Hefner.
Jesse Renee James.
Nicholas James Howard Jones.
Bradley Scott Loader.
Yusra Mansour.
Randy Mitchell Maynard.
Nicholas Michael McGuire.
Colby Keith McPeak.
Gavin Keith Miller.
Samuel Jefferson Potter.
Jared Michael Tackett.
Joshua Keith Tackett.
Taylor Ann Tavis.
Charles Duncan Walters.
And Reese Ellis Ward.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Next, we would like to recognize with gratitude and accolade the juniors who are serving as ushers in today's ceremony.
These students have become leaders in their class by maintaining a 4.0 grade point average over their past 3 years of high school.
Ushers, please stand.
Thank you and congratulations, juniors.
Hopefully, you will become members of the following group if you continue your hard work and perseverance.
We would now like to honor the students who are graduating with academic distinction. Please stand when your name is called.
Students graduating cum laude have maintained a 3.5 grade point average throughout their high school careers. Britton Belcher,
Will Boyd,
Lindsay Cheney,
Ashley Fleming,
Tara Leisure,
Bradley Loder,
Lauren McGuire,
Nick McGuire,
Ida Ponca,
Solin Ryu,
Holly Smith,
and Courtney Waddles. Thank you, students. You may be seated.
Students graduating magna cum laude have maintained a 3.7 to 3.899 grade point average throughout their high school careers and have received credit for at least 6 of the specified rigorous courses.
Jessica Asbury,
Rebecca Bailey,
Morgan Curry,
Emily Hall,
Marcus Houston,
Yusra Mansour,
Aaron Shepard,
Katie Stafford,
and Devin Stewart.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Students graduating summa cum laude have maintained a 3.9 to 4.0 grade point average throughout their high school careers and have received credit for at least 7 of the specified rigorous courses.
Andrew Bailey,
Molly Bates,
Taryn Cantrell,
Mackenzie Gearhart,
Mary Hillwig,
Lindsay Eisner,
Devin Porter,
Samuel Potter,
and Lucas Taylor.
Thank you. You may be seated. Congratulations, students.
Finally, we can read it together.
Finally, we would like to introduce our superintendent, Mr. Jerry Green, who has 2 remarkable awards to present.
Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Chris Blackburn and Mr. Marcus Houston to please come forward to the podium. As these gentlemen come forward, I'd like to briefly share with you why we're recognizing or honoring these students. First off, for the past 13 years, kindergarten through the 12th grade, these students have had perfect attendance for 13 years. I would also like to point out it's even more difficult to achieve in our school district because, for example, this past school year, we did not miss a single day of attendance concerning instructional days. So while other districts may be taking off for snow, they may be scheduling dental appointments, optometrist appointments, or orthodontist appointments, these gentlemen didn't have that opportunity or time because we typically go to school here each and every day. So this accommodation is tremendous for the past 13 years. We have not only a certificate, a gift set, a watch, and also a check to recognize these gentlemen's contributions over the past 13 years and ask that you join us in another round of applause for them.
At this time, we would like to introduce the senior superlatives for the class of 2012. Earlier in the school year, the senior class voted on who they felt best represented these 14 categories.
Students, when we call your name, please stand. Audience, please hold your applause until all students have been recognized.
You just love to be around them. Best personality, Molly Bates and J.P. Coleman.
Most likely to be on the cover of Forbes magazine. Most likely to succeed, Mary Hillwig and Sam Potter.
Always in on the latest gossip, Drama King and Queen, Megan Kirkowski and Tolliver Hefner.
most likely to be seen in the back of a police cruiser. Biggest troublemaker, Tasha Khan and Jordan Chapman.
Always cheering on the Marooning Mock, Emily Hall, and Lucas Taylor.
Most likely to be seen after da-na-na, na-na-na, most athletic, Lindsay Eisner and Randy Maynard.
They'll make you laugh till you cry. Best sense of humor, Lauren McGuire and Reese Ward.
Did they even show up for their own graduation? Worst case of senioritis, Sarah Lucas and Colby McPeak.
You can catch them winking at the cuties walking by. Biggest flirts, Maureen Curry and Gavin Miller.
Always showing off their pearly whites. Best smile, Taryn Cantrell and Chris Hafer.
Most likely to be followed by the paparazzi. Most likely to be famous, Ashley Fleming and Zach Birdie Van Hoops.
You can see that twinkle in their eyes. Prettiest eyes, Haley Wagner and Zach Cowell.
You'll be seeing their work in New York City one day. Most artistic, Tara Leisure and Marcus Houston.
Always looking like they stepped off the runway. Best dressed, Lindsay Cheney and Will Branham.
Congratulations, graduates.
In the past year, the Pikeville High School SSA and SATB Chorus have had several performances. They have participated in a Renaissance Dinner Festival, a concert with songs and dances from the musical Mamma Mia, a winter concert, a spring concert, and they also performed at the Methodist Church twice during Holy Week. The chorus also received straight distinguished scores in state performance and sight reading during the 2012 KMEA Festival. But no matter how impressive our chorus sounds, we wouldn't be anything without our director, Dan Houston, who is retiring this year.
Mr. Houston has been at PHS for 25 years. In this time, he has been a teacher, the choir director, the band director, the show choir director, the school musical and drama producer, the tennis coach, and a bus driver. His schedule is always full, but he's never too busy to lend a helping hand or a shoulder to cry on. Anyone who knows Mr. Houston will remember him forever. Pikeville won't be the same without him next year, walking around asking you on how their day has been or saying, "Straighten your shoulders, Spanky." The mornings will seem quiet without his mellow saxophone playing, echoing throughout the second floor. A teacher, director, and coach can all be replaced, but there will never be another Dan Houston.
Dan Houston has taught us all how to be ourselves and be proud of it. Without him, a lot of us would never be on stage or have the opportunity to shine. He's honestly been one of the best friends I've made at Pikeville High School. I don't think I would have made it without the many talks to the future and endless words of encouragement he has supplied throughout the years. Dan Houston, because I knew you, I've been changed for good. And now we have a little surprise.
Before the choir gets up to sing, Katie and I, on behalf of any student that's ever been touched by Mr. Houston, would like to just say thank you in the only way that we know how, with this song.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you. I have been changed for good.
It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime, but let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you.
Because I knew you.
I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blamed me for.
But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea,
Like a stream that meets
like
the
a seed
border,
dropped by a
halfway
bird in
through
the
the
wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better.
because I knew you.
Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for
And now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the SATB chorus performing Seasons of Love, directed by the amazing, irreplaceable Mr. Houston.
While they're getting themselves set up, I just would like to say, Pikeville High School has been wonderful. I've got a wonderful time here. And I think it's important for you to realize that I am who I am today because of these children. You heard the talent. There's talent all through this building. And all I did was provide an opportunity. And that's what I am as a teacher. I provided opportunities, and because of that, they made me look good. And I just want you to know that community, parents, faculty, students,
In just a few moments, the 82 students sitting before you will go from being seniors at Pikeville High School to Pikeville High School alumni. It is an honor that has been earned by each of us. This group is indeed a unique organization that we will join. Each year, the Pikeville Independent School Foundation for Academic Excellence recognizes individuals who have made outstanding contributions to our community or our school. Miss Ann Epperson-Carty is truly an outstanding lady. She graduated from Pikeville High School in 1946 and began her post-secondary education at David Lipscomb College. As a 1950 graduate of David Lipscomb, Ann furthered her education by earning an elementary certificate from Pikeville College. Following this degree, Ann obtained her master's degree from Eastern Kentucky University in 1954 and her rank 1 from Morehead State University in 1975. Ann's dedication to the classroom began in 1972 when she was hired as an 8th grade English teacher here at Pikeville High School. Throughout her 19 years at PHS, she was involved in various positions. She transitioned from the junior high classroom to the high school classroom as a journalism teacher, and during that time, she was the yearbook sponsor. Her most prized publication was printed in 1976. This edition of the Panther featured an extensive history section. Ann ended her career at Pikeville Elementary as a librarian in 1991. Miss Ann did not stay in retirement for long. In 1996, she was elected as a board member for our district. She held the position for 10 years and was re-elected in 2011. Ann is currently serving as a Board of Education member in the Pikeville Independent School District. Since 2008, Ann has been a member of the PHS Alumni Committee Board. In 2009, she created the Maroon and White Room, a museum center here at PHS. Ann followed her mother's footsteps by becoming a teacher. Her mother, Mrs. Helen Johnson Epperson Bond, was a teacher for 20 years. As a loyal alumnus and teacher, Ann made sure her children attended Pikeville High School as well. Ann is a proud grandmother to 6 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. I have had the pleasure of knowing Miss Ann since birth, as we have attended Main Street Church of Christ together for the 18 years of my life. I have always admired her example of what a godly woman should be. Without a doubt, Miss Ann Carty is one of the most passionate people when it comes to education that I know. Today, this passion, loyalty, and outstanding character has earned her the 2012 Distinguished Alumnus Award. Thank you for your service to the community, to the children, and our district. Ms. Ann Carty.
Well, I tell you, I was pumping gas at the Speedway, and my phone rang, and it was my friend Randy Roberts telling me that I was to receive this honor. And I blurted out, "But I'm just a teacher." And then I got to thinking about it later, and I was ashamed that I thought that, because I'm proud of my profession. And I'm proud. It's an old and honorable profession, and we teachers train all other professions. When you think of what you are and what you will become, if you look behind you, you're going to see a line of teachers. I agree with Bill Ellis, another teacher who retired from Eastern Kentucky University, because he wrote, "Education, education, education." If we get that right, everything else will fall into place. And I believe this, hear me, I believe this: the most valuable resource that we have is not the gas that we drill, it's not the coal that we mine. It's these young people, it's their hearts and their minds. I'm so proud to have been associated with this wonderful school system for most of my life. And I would be remiss if I did not remind you, or perhaps tell you, maybe you don't know this, but in this day of closing schools and new schools and merging schools, this school, in 3 years, Lord willing, will have been in existence for 100 years. And boy, are we going to celebrate. So I want to thank the Pikeville High School Alumni Association for this honor, and I want to accept it on behalf of all of us who are just teachers.
Johnny M. Belcher is the son of Danny and Lois Belcher. Johnny is no stranger to the education profession, as his family boasts a line of educators. His mother was a library media specialist and a teacher. His father was a guidance counselor, and his mother was a classroom teacher for 42 years. His wife, Mary, teaches 7th grade math at Pikeville High School, and his daughter, Sarah, is a 4th grader at Pikeville Elementary School. Johnny graduated from Shelby Valley High School in 1992. From the years 1992 through 1997, he successfully attended Alice Lloyd College, where he received his bachelor's degree, then on to Morehead State University, completing his master's degree. He entered the University of Louisville ABD for his doctorate work in curriculum and instruction, and has achieved a Kentucky ranked 1. Johnny began his teaching career in 1997 at Pikeville High School. During his 15 years at PHS, he has served as a math and physics instructor, where he is department chair. Johnny was the PHS academic team coach from 1997 to 2002, winning 3 regional titles along with landing in the state quarterfinals, being state runner-up and a state champion in single A competition. He led the team to 4 district titles, 1 quick recall regional title, state quarterfinals, and a state championship in the Governor's Cup competition. Johnny has proven himself as a distinguished educator worthy of recognition. This past spring, he was the recipient of the prestigious 2011 Milken Educator Award. He has currently been hired as the new instructional supervisor with the Pikeville Independent School System and will begin this position with the upcoming school year. Johnny is a beloved teacher here at Pikeville High School and has touched the lives of so many students. When asked what advice he gives to others, he says, "Being a model for learning is my main goal every day. I want my students to understand it's not okay to not know something. What's not okay is to quit there. I just keep trying to give that message over and over again to them." At this time, we would like to honor Johnny M. Belcher with the 2012 Honorary Alumnus Award.
I was instructed that if I took longer than 5 minutes, Zach Berge Van Hoos, where are you, has permission to tackle me. Where are you at? Okay, I just want to see you coming, just in case, okay? But, you know, something like this, it's a tough thing because you don't want to take the time. It's all about the graduates, but then if you don't take long enough, it doesn't really get across what it means to you. But to the Alumni Association, let me address you first. To help me with my feeble mind, I prepared a little something to read from. But we have all heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. A few years ago, Pikeville Schools decided to invest in me as a child in my profession. While the Alumni Association has chosen to recognize me today for my contributions, I can truly say that the Pikeville City Schools, the community of Pikeville, have given more to me than I have given. And I mean that. As long as I listened, actively observed, I continued and I still continue to grow through their guidance and their model, just like Miss Carty here. I still have half a career ahead of me. Mr. Coleman, where are you? This is our maintenance and grounds engineer. Be sure that we affix my picture very firmly out on the wall, just in case. Future days, but you do worry. But as the kids know, I say, I hope I don't goof up. I do hope, like I said, I do hope they mount firmly. But Abraham Lincoln said, I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place will be proud of him. Through the help of God, family, and others, I will definitely continue to strive so that Pikeville community can be proud of me. I can honestly say that the alumni recognition today, and I mean this with all my heart, means more to me than any recognition I've received, any national award. To me, place is home. It is my love of place that makes me feel this way, and it is my love of place that I want to turn now and talk to our graduates about. So give me just a minute to say something there. Now, graduates, I have something to say. Are you listening? Are you listening? I want to read to you, graduates, a short excerpt about place. That's my message today, is place. That is not from my pen, this message, this original part, but relevant to my thoughts for you today. This is how it goes. It's a discussion. I know few people other than a handful of locals, family members, and high school friends who have stayed in one place all their lives. It used to be common to do so until automobiles gave us unlimited freedom to live anywhere. And most of us, with an American passion for freedom, fled our hometowns to move off to distant places to progress in the world. Many of us have moved so much, in fact, that we approach all the places we live as a stop in the road. Even as we settle in, we think, when my child gets old enough for school, we'll move to the suburbs. When I get a better job, we'll move to that big house. When it starts getting too overrun with crime or traffic, we'll just move further out. And when I retire, we'll head south. These thoughts of transience are manifested in the no places we leave behind, and often the emptiness we feel. But what if we approach the places we pass through with the thought, how do I help make this a place I could live in for the rest of my life? Whether we eventually do so or not, wherever you end up, these thoughts. If we replace thoughts of transience with those of permanence, I suspect we'd push for more town centers, fewer fast food restaurants, more sidewalks and parks and fewer 4 lanes, more walking paths, bike lanes, dog parks, and gathering places. I suspect we'd push for houses that were built to last and that were close to schools, work, entertainment, and friends. I suspect that we'd take better care of our air, our water, and our land because we'd want them to be there for the rest of our lives and for the lives of those who follow us. Now, in my words, that was an excerpt from someone else. In my words, it is human nature to let familiarity deceive us. It is even in the animal kingdom. Now, graduates, are you still listening? Are you listening? Please. Even in the animal kingdom, cattle really do work to get out of their fence to the other side. I've seen it. For what they thought was greener grass. Graduates, there is no greener grass than investing in your place. You may not decide to stay here or come back here, but please invest in the place you end up living in. Much like the growth of a plant is stunted when continuously transplanted, a human life cannot reach its full potential unless watered by the blessings of God and fed by the rich soils of place. Place can allow you to grow to heights you otherwise could not. And the truly miraculous part is many plants, by growing, enrich the soil they grow in. So too can you make your place better just by being there and doing your best. Now, the big picture. Working as a teacher, you learn that and I'm almost finished, Zach. You're not getting antsy back there, are you? He's talking, and we'll be all right. Zach, listen. Working as a teacher, you learn that 1 or 2 students in a class of 30 can completely change the class's behavior for the good or worse. And on the same principle, one class, I've seen it, can affect a school. You take our project with Miss Scott with the paper, and I'm not very good at that, though, am I? But it's changed our school and how we approach that. but one class can affect a whole school. A school can affect a region, a state, and a state, a nation, and a nation, the world. I believe that. Individuals really do and can change our world. However, I truly believe your ability to change the world must first start with your investment in your place. Be proud of this place. I've seen the students of Pikeville High School go toe-to-toe with the very best our nation has in national academic and athletic competitions. I've seen the citizens of Appalachia, both past and present, distinguish themselves on national levels. One example, Dr. Hamley, who orchestrated one of the largest earth-moving projects in the world and laid the foundation for a hospital that is now nationally recognized through the work of present leaders. Examples like the elder Dr. Musgraves, who was not only a doctor, you may not know this, but he was an engineer as well, whose daughter helps patients fight cancer daily in Pikeville to this day. Governor Patton and numerous other political figures who have fought for better roads and infrastructure in an area whose geographic obstacles make tasks such as this a monumental feat. Like Kennedy said, we choose to go to the moon because it is hard. For those of us who stay in Appalachia, our love for this region runs deep, and it manifests itself in extreme feats of accomplishment. Do not be fooled, graduates, for a minute that you must go somewhere else to live a fulfilling life. The Appalachian region needs your talents. But again, if you choose to live somewhere else, invest yourself in place, and I will hope and pray in the meantime that I will see you someday stand up and take your place to better our region and make a place you want to live, work, play, and prosper. But above all, one last sentence, but above all, God bless you in all that you do, and we love you.
The Pikeville High School Marching and Concert Band started off the year with working on 3 different marching shows. We started with a Halloween show, a patriotic show, and a Christmas show. Also, for the first time in many years, the band marched in full uniforms. The band was also present during the homecoming parade, school pep rallies, all home and tournament football games, and also most basketball games. A select number of students played in the brass ensemble for the Renaissance Dinner that also showcased the choir. Along with that, the band had a strong presence at the all-county and all-district bands. They successfully performed a winter and spring concert playing various songs, and finally, the band earned a distinguished rating when they performed Stars and Stripes and The Water is Wide at the band clinic in Prestonsburg. And as you should know by now, Mr. Houston will be retiring this year, and this performance here will be his last ever as the Pikeville High School band director. It's been an honor to have him as a teacher and mentor over the last 6 years, and all the graduating band students would like to dedicate this song to all the years of his service to the school and community. So at this time, I present to you the Pikeville High School band performing Landmark Overture.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm here to introduce Pikeville High School's salutatorian of 2012. My friend Samuel Potter is the son of Jeff and Tammy Potter. He is a 4-year member of the Future Business Leaders of, no, 3 years member of the Future Business Leaders of America, and where he plays at a national competition, a 4-year member of the Future Problem Solvers team, and a 4-year member of the Pikeville Drama Department, where he was the light technician. He received a 36 on his ACT and will be attending the University of Kentucky in the fall on an Otis A. Singletary Scholarship. Please join me in welcoming our salutatorian, Samuel Potter.
Thanks, Mackenzie. And I don't know how many of you noticed, but we had a meltdown at the beginning of the ceremony up here. My speech wasn't where it was supposed to be, but I assure you it's found now. You don't have to hear me improv, so be grateful. Be very grateful. It is my honor to stand before you as the salutatorian in my class. I would like to thank all of you for being here. This is a very exciting time for us, and your support is appreciated. When I sat down to write this speech, I did the opposite of what many people would do. Instead of focusing on what I needed to say, I made notes of what I didn't want to say. I've seen many classes graduate in this room, and many people speak behind this podium. And one thing that always annoys me, I see it every single year, is when someone comes up here and makes a claim akin to, we are the first, or last, or only, or insert unique adjective here, class of our kind. I suppose it's natural for us as humans to want to be special. We like to think that our accomplishments are the grandest, our contributions the most noteworthy, and our efforts the most rewarded. We want desperately to know that we left our mark on what matters, that in 20, 50, or 100 years from now, people will not only know who we were, but what we did. I'd bet that when Pikeville's basketball team went to state via train car in 1924, they thought it would be talked about for generations, but we forgot. I'd bet that when Vivian Kaminsky was announced Pikeville's first varsity queen in 1939, she thought her name would bring beauty for generations to come, but we forgot. I bet that when Pikeville Panther Neil Smith was named an All-American honorable mention in 1964, he thought his skills on the field would be envied for years to come, but we forgot that too. And I would also wager that during her salutatorian address, Kathy Call bestowed the class of 1967 the all-too-common, only class of its kind accolade. But it wasn't. It's foolish and arrogant to assume that we are special enough not to be forgotten. Look how history rewarded those people. Instead of focusing on the propagation of our memory into the future, our efforts would be better served focusing on those around us. Look at whom you're sitting with. You have the ability to influence those people's lives in a positive way. No, their great-grandchildren will never know your name, but you will make a difference nonetheless. I've shared as many as the last 13 years with people on this stage. Through my interactions with them, I've been molded into the person I am. Now as I prepare to depart from most of them, I take pride in knowing that they shaped me into the person I am, and I, hopefully, them. During this mass exodus, let us remember the things we've gained from these people. Grieve not for their loss, but focus on their memory. Because if we don't remember, no one will. Thank you.
Receiving good grades in high school for most is a challenge. Some choose to avoid it, and some slide by with decent grades, but others go above and beyond what's expected. This is true of our valedictorian. Mary Hilwig is the daughter of Robert and Kathleen Hilwig. She is a Governor's Scholar, AP Scholar with Honor, and a National Merit Finalist. While at PHS, she has been a 4-year member of the Future Problem Solving Team and the tennis team. She is a 2-year member of the National Honor Society and has served on the Student Council. While active in many extracurriculars, Mary maintained an unweighted 4.0 grade point average. She received the Patterson Scholarship from the University of Kentucky and will be part of their engineering program in the fall. I now proudly introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2012, Mary Hilwig.
Our class has described high school with the following words: life-changing, indescribable, awful, stressful, different, musical, and cosmic. The truth is that it is all of these things. On any given day, at any given time, all of these words accurately describe high school. Whether each individual experience was good, bad, or something in between, everyone leaves high school changed by their experience. It is a time of beginning to figure out who we are and what we want to do with who we are. It is about learning how we want to live and how we want our actions to influence others. It is a time of preparation. During high school, we have learned what is required: English, math, science, history, and Spanish. And some of us have branched out into music, art, and drama. But during this critical time, we have also learned how to set priorities, manage time, and handle conflict. These skills did not come with a course name or number, but are the most valuable. With them, we have become more independent, and we must begin to solve our own problems. We have each chosen our own path through Pikeville High School. Some of us have joined more activities than we can handle, and some of us have not joined anything at all. Some of us have taken every AP course offered, and some of us have preferred a more relaxed approach to school. But even those of us who decided that skipping school was a better idea than having perfect attendance have allowed high school to influence our lives. Both the choices that we are proud of and the choices that we wish we hadn't made are a part of who we are. Hopefully, we have become wiser through our actions here and will go forth with that knowledge. We have laid the groundwork for our futures, and every decision made in these past 4 years will act as a basis for the choices we will make throughout our lives. Today, our class is graduating. We will no longer be able to follow our own familiar schedules with the same familiar people. Our varied talents and interests will take us down divergent paths. Some of us want to stay close to home, and some of us are going far from home. Many of us do not yet have a clear destination in mind. Others are more certain, planning to be dentists, veterinarians, engineers, nurses, and musicians. But even though we are going our separate ways, we will always be connected by our time here together. We have shaped each other, and now is the time for us to take what we have become and go out into the world. Today is the first step towards our futures. I would like to end with some words of wisdom from a great philosopher, Dr. Seuss. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
Seniors, please stand for the presentation of the diplomas. Trevin Payne Adams. Jimmy Austin Adkins. Lindsay Paige Akers. Velma Brianna Anderson. Jessica Danielle Asbury, magna cum laude. Andrew Allen Bailey, summa cum laude. Bryce Edward Bailey. Rebecca Sue Bailey, magna cum laude. Molly Carol Bates, summa cum laude. Brenton Gray Belcher, cum laude. Christopher Ian Blackburn. William James Tyler Boyd, cum laude. Mitchell Todd Branham. William Dale Branham. Zachary Blake Berge Van Hoos. Taryn Elizabeth Cantrell, summa cum laude. Lindsay Dawn Cheney, cum laude. Taylor Wayne Cheney. Cody Reese Chapman. Jordan Keith Chapman. Austin Gray Clevenger. J.P. Coleman. Levi Tyler Coleman. Krista Noel Compton. Natasha Kahn. Shelby Eileen Kahn. Morgan Brooke Curry, magna cum laude. Austin Paul Easted. Ashley Dawn Fleming, cum laude. Mackenzie Gearhart, summa cum laude. Michael Daniel Gibson. Christopher Hayden Jr. Emily Page Hall, magna cum laude. David Tolliver Hefner. Mary Karen Hillwig, summa cum laude. Marcus Hunter Houston, magna cum laude. Zachary Thomas Howe. Cassandra Suzanne Huff. Lindsay Dawn Eisner, summa cum laude. Jesse Renee James. Nicholas James Howard Jones. Emily Nicole Justice. Cody Daniel King. Megan Renee Kurkowski. Tara Evan Leisure, cum laude. Bradley Scott Loader, cum laude. Sarah Renee Lucas. Yusra Mansour, magna cum laude. Heather Renee Maynard. Randy Mitchell Maynard. Lauren Rebecca McGuire, cum laude. Nicholas Michael McGuire, cum laude. Colby Keith McPeak. Gavin Keith Miller. Brittany Mae Moore. Edie Jasmine Honke, cum laude. Damian J. Phillips. Devin Dwayne Porter, summa cum laude. Samuel Jefferson Potter, summa cum laude. Courtney Nicole Pratt. Sullen Sarah Raul, cum laude. Randall Blake Robinson. Colby Rogers. Andrea Krista Rowe. Aaron Reese Shepard, magna cum laude. Joshua Tyler Smallwood. Douglas Winston Smith III. Holly Michelle Smith, cum laude. Katie Elizabeth Stafford, magna cum laude. Michael Devin Stewart, magna cum laude. Jared Michael Tackett. Joshua Keith Tackett. Taylor Ann Tavis. Lucas Aaron Taylor, summa cum laude. Jessica Thomas. Courtney Lynn Waddles, cum laude. Haley Elizabeth Wagner. Charles Duncan Walters. Julia Christine Walls. Reese Ellis Ward. Wesley Jameson Wright. Katie Renee Young.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe and graduates. For the vast majority of the students on this stage today, their educational journey started at Pikeville Elementary School 13 years ago. In kindergarten, that summer, parents, if you'll remember, you were busy completing the required kindergarten packet information and trying to make sure that your son or daughter had completed every exam, whether cognitively or physically, to enter kindergarten. Most of you are now thinking, wow, that doesn't seem like it was that long ago. And yes, time does pass by much too quickly. However, if we were to go back in time and to ask you one single question, or for that matter, if we could ask parents enrolling their sons or daughters this summer in kindergarten at Pikeville Elementary School, what single most important goal would you have for Pikeville Independent Schools to accomplish regarding your son or daughter over the next 13 years? What would it be? Invariably, parents would say, please do everything possible to prepare my son or daughter for the next level of their education so they can successfully move on to a college or university of their choice. That would be the ultimate educational goal. Now, as with any goal or test given, eventually we must view the results. As a matter of fact, now it's time to check the results of that educational goal that was set 13 years ago. At this time, I would like to ask all graduates on stage that will be attending a college or university in the upcoming school year to please stand and remain standing. I just wanted to check again, or double check both sides of the stage, because parents, today, with your help, the Board of Education, the staff of Pikeville Independent Schools, and I are so proud to announce that the class of 2012 has accomplished the goal set forth 13 years ago with 100% success. Yes, every single one of them. I just wanted to check a few moments ago for myself to make sure will be leaving this stage today and entering a college or university of their choice. For those of you that are guests that have traveled long distances, today you're not just attending another high school graduation. Today, each of us are privileged to be a part of something special. For today, Mr. Potter, today will be remembered. The reason it will be remembered is because the class of 2012 will be always known as the first graduating class from across the Commonwealth of Kentucky to attain the lofty goal of 100% of its graduates entering a college or university of their choice. I can't tell you how special this is. Graduates, each of you are outstanding examples of why their parents, not only in our audience, but in our community, and even outside our community, want to enroll their children in our high-performing school system, and why other students want to follow in your footsteps. We cannot thank each of you enough for moving the bar of academic excellence even higher at Pikeville Independent. Now, After having completed the rigorous requirements of Pikeville Independent Schools, I am so proud, like you, to confirm and present Pikeville High School's graduating class of 2012. You can now toss them, guys. It's a very well-deserved moment of recognition for your hard work over the past 13 years. At this time, you may be seated, graduates. Also, I'd like to ask the class president of our 2012 graduating class, Ms. Molly Bates, to please come forward concerning the class farewell. Ms. Bates.
My name is Molly Bates, and I'm the president of the class of 2012. Thank you guys so much for everything. I'm so happy right now. Anyway, a wise man once said, "We go together like shoo-bop, shoo-wada-wada, yippity-boom-de-boom." Now that wise man was obviously John Travolta from the movie Grease, but these words really do have some truth to them. You see, Grease is a movie about a group of high school students just like all of us up here. And when I stand up here to talk about our class and what we're all about, there are no real words for it. I can't say we go together like salt and pepper because we have so many unique opinions and differences that we don't always blend just right. I can't say we go together like lock and key because we're each so very different that we don't always fit. And I can't say that we go together like peanut butter and jelly because several of our students have a peanut allergy and that would be a serious health hazard. So in our weird, crazy mix of people, the best that I can come up with to describe us isn't even a word at all, just a group of syllables, jumbled, senseless, and beautiful in its own way. But one thing I can say about our class, one universal truth, is that we are surrounded by the best support system in the world, by all of these wonderful people out here, sitting beside you and behind us. We have people who have our backs whenever we need it. And seniors, I want to go on to talk about some of the people who have been here for me, but as I'm speaking, don't just listen to my stories, but think about the people who have played these roles in your lives. The first level of our support system is each other. Everyone sitting up here has been affected and touched by another classmate on the stage. The person I would like to talk about, and this is really going to surprise her, is Tara Leisure. And the way that she affected my life happened a long time ago, in 4th grade actually. You see, in 4th grade, Tara and I were best friends, and on an entirely unrelated note, I had retainers. So one day, we had just finished lunch, and it turns out I had thrown my retainers away. And if you've ever been to the elementary school, those are really big trash cans. So I ended up, as a little 4th grader, digging through 5 giant trash cans on Spaghetti Day to find my retainer. And Tara Leisure, being the great friend that she was, dug right along with me the entire way. That is what I call a support system. Now this happened a long time ago, but many of my other classmates have helped me out in similar, I guess not so similar ways. Every senior on the stage has had a classmate who has supported them at some point, just like Tara. The second level in our support system is made up of our mentors. And by mentors, I'm talking about a lot of people. I'm talking about people like Mr. Houston, who's taught us many lessons, both musical and life lessons. I'm talking about people like Brandon Blackburn, who has been my youth minister, brother-in-law, and teacher. I'm really going to miss him. And I'm talking about people like Susan Huffman, to whom I owe just about every cord or pin I have stuck on me right now, and she's taught me how to be a leader. But more important than all of our teachers, coaches, and administrators are our parents and our family. We take so much from our parents and we don't even realize it, and I really learned this about halfway through my senior year. I can't talk about it much because it really hurts, but in October I lost my Mimi. And she taught me so much while she was alive, but even after she was gone, she taught me another important lesson, and that is the value of my parents. Watching my mom now, I see so much of my Mimi in her. My mom lost her mentor, but it's obvious that she learned so much from her. I hope that I can learn from these two wonderful women, one who is here with me and one who is here in spirit. Every senior on the stage has had a mentor who supported them just like mine. I hope that all my classmates are starting to think about the people that matter to them, and I hope that you're all starting to feel the love, but there's still one more level in our support system. We've talked about the people who are older than us. We've talked about the people who are our own age. So all that's left are those who are younger, who look up to us. This year, someone has been very important in my life, and she's here today. I saw her, and that's a sophomore, Katie Downey. Katie sat with me every day at lunch this year, and she never ceased to brighten my day. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about all of our classes. We talked about Disney movies. We talked about Betty White a lot. And we talked about how Katie is a very lucky little girl to have survived the complications that she had when she was born. Katie is the happiest person I know, and her personality alone has changed my life. But one day at lunch, she really got to me. We were talking about our graduation, about my graduation, and she looked at me and she put her hand up to my face and she said, "Molly, I think next year I'm really going to miss you when you leave." I'm so glad to know that I've affected her life as well. Every senior on the stage has had someone younger than them who has changed their life just like Katie changed mine. As we are going through the graduation process, it is easy to think only of ourselves, what we are going to do and what we are going to be. But on this day, on this very important day, stop and think about the people who have changed your life, about that support that you have been so lucky to have. When we walk out of these doors in about 10 minutes, we're all going off in different directions. We'll walk away from friends, from family, and from each other, and we'll walk on to do great things. A lot of us up here are anxious to get out into the real world and leave high school behind us. But don't go so fast. Stop and think about those teachers, family members, friends, and classmates who have supported you and made you the person that you are at this very moment. Class of 2012, you guys have made my high school experience a wonderful one. I love you all. This speech was supposed to be the senior class farewell, so in conclusion, senior class, farewell.
Guests, when the service is in, please keep the aisles clear as seniors will be exiting the stage. Thank you.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we come to you today thanking you for blessing the journey that has come to an end. You have given us friendships, challenges, and memories that will last a lifetime. We thank you for being there during every trial and every triumph. Each and every accomplishment that has been recognized on this stage today would not have been possible without you. We ask that you go with us into the future, lead, guide, and direct our paths in a way that honors and glorifies you.
Lord, we ask that you continue to watch over us, guide us, and always protect us. We thank you for all the wonderful teachers, leaders, and the family you have blessed us with, because we know this is a very prestigious school. Thank you for a truly amazing experience with the best classmates one could ask for. As we come to an end in this chapter of our lives, we are grateful because we realize this is only the beginning.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.